Welcome back. This is lesson 10 and a half, executive communication. We're going to write board decks and executive briefs in 2 hours versus 2 weeks. You've already shipped quarterly OKRs, you've built strategic plans, and now you need to present them to your VP, to the C-suite, to the board. The old way was you'd spend 2 weeks building a deck, you agonize over every slide, you revise 15 times, and then you still get questions you didn't anticipate. The new way, you use AI to draft the deck in 30 minutes, then you spend 90 minutes refining it. You anticipate questions before they're asked. What we'll cover today is board presentation prep in 2 hours, executive briefing documents, using AI to create strategic messaging frameworks, stakeholder communication plans, and then how to anticipate and prep for executive questions. Executive communication is different from tactical communication. Tactical communications are status updates, project reports, team emails. Executive communications are board decks, C-suite briefs, and strategic memos. There are 3 key differences. First, executives want the answer first, not the background, not the analysis, the recommendation. Page 1, paragraph 1. When I was in management consulting, one of the senior partners told me, this is when I was a baby consultant, he told me, do not take me down the garden path. He wanted to know what the point was up front, as do many executives. So let's cut to the chase. Secondly, you only have 10 minutes, not 30, not an hour. You get 10 minutes and 5 slides. Executives are very busy. Third, executives ask questions you might not have prepared for. Then they'll see the gap in your logic, and then they'll challenge your assumptions. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use AI to help us create a board presentation deck. The old way is you would need to present quarterly results to the board. You'd have 15 minutes. You need 10 slides maximum. You'd start with the company background. You'd include 20 slides. They won't read them. You bury the ask on slide 18 and they'll miss it. And then you'd show data without interpretation. So they're going to ask you, so what? The better way is to start with the role, the objective, the instructions, the context, and the format that you feed into your AI so it can create the outline for your deck. Here's the prompt for a board presentation. Pause the screen so you can copy it. Here's the response that you would get from that prompt. You'd get slide 1, an executive summary, slide 2, Q4 highlights, then what worked, where we fell short, what the budget request is. Then you have the budget justification, a risk assessment, key milestones, the team and execution, the ask and next steps. And then ChatGPT or any AI that you use will help you anticipate board questions. So in this case, it came up with, why can't you do this with the current budget? Question 2, what if development takes 8 months, not 4? Question 3, how confident are you in the 5 million ARR projection? Question 4, what's your plan if you only get 1 million instead of 2 million? Question 5, who is your biggest competitor for this product? So not only did we save time, but we've also improved the quality. We led with the ask. The ask isn't buried on slide 18. We anticipated the questions before they were asked. We include risk mitigation, which boards all want. We show ROI calculation that the boards need to make decisions. And then we use crisp language and no jargon. We also include data visualizations and backup slides that are planned. You refine the content, you add the company-specific details, you rehearse, and you present with confidence. So in this case, AI is your helper. It's your thought starter and then your thought partner. But at the end of the day, the message and the data is all yours. Time that it would take in you to build this manually would have been 10 to 12 hours. Building this deck with AI took you 2 hours, and that was 30 minutes for a draft and 90 minutes to refine. The hour saved 8 to 10 hours. Second example is using AI to create executive briefing documents. The bad brief would be 5 pages of dense text, no executive summary, recommendation buried on page 4, and no clear action items. And this is all when your CEO needs a 2-page brief on the competitive landscape. She has 10 minutes to read it before a board call. Instead, we're going to use the ROICF framework with a role, objective, instructions, context, and format. Here's the prompt to create executive briefing documents. Pause the screen so you can copy. And then here's the brief structure that AI returns. Page 1, we have the executive summary, and it includes market dynamics, competitive positioning, and competitive threats. Then it includes a recommendation section with risks identified and mitigation activities. Then there's a next steps section with accountability and due dates. And then we include that there's a detailed appendix available and what information is included in that appendix. So again, we've improved the quality of our work because now we lead with the executive summary that's only 3 sentences long. We provide scannable bullet points, not paragraphs. There's a clear recommendation with numbers. Risks are addressed proactively. There are next steps with owners and dates. Then there's an appendix noted for backup data, and it fits on 2 pages. Time to write this brief manually, 6 to 8 hours. Time with AI, 15 minutes to create a draft and 45 minutes to refine for a total of 1 hour. So we've saved 5 to 7 hours. So in this case, your CEO reads it in 8 minutes. She approves the recommendation and she's prepared for the board call. Example number 3, strategic messaging framework. Your company is launching a new product and you need consistent messaging across sales, marketing, PR, and executives. In the past, sales would say the product is called AI-powered analytics. Marketing would say it's next-gen business intelligence. PR would say it's a revolutionary data platform. Customers get confused and then the message is diluted across channels. Instead, we use the ROICF framework with roles and objectives, instructions, context, and format. Here's the prompt for strategic messaging. Pause the screen so you can copy the prompt. Here's the output. The AI, based on our prompt, will give us a core positioning statement that's consistent across all of those different stakeholders. It's a single sentence that everyone from sales reps to the CEO can repeat consistently. It's clear, specific, and grounded in measurable outcomes that matter to your buyers. The output also gives us 3 key messages with proof points. Message 1 is to know your number with confidence. Message 2, stop wasting time on manual forecasting. And message 3, trust AI that learns your sales process. Then we asked it to create audience-specific variations. So for customers, it gave us this. For investors, it has a different twist on the messaging. And for press, something else entirely. Then it also provides messaging do's and don'ts so that it gives us clear guardrails to prevent jargon and ensure everyone communicates in language that customers actually understand. It also gives us usage guidelines. Again, it gives us all of these things because we asked it to in our well-formulated prompt. So these usage guidelines tell sales when and how to use it, marketing when and how to use it, PR, executives, and the customer success team. Again, using AI, we've improved the quality of this output. We now have consistent messaging across all teams. We have audience-specific variations that are ready to use, clear do's and don'ts that prevent jargon, proof points to support every message, and then simple language that customers understand. Time to create this messaging framework manually, 8 to 10 hours, we would have had to have multiple stakeholder meetings, wordsmithing sessions, approvals back and forth. Time with AI, 20 minutes for a draft and 40 minutes to refine for a total of 1 hour. Time saved, 7 to 9 hours. Once you do this, you can share it with sales, marketing, PR, executives, and customer success. Everyone uses the same messaging, and then your launch is coherent. Example 4, using AI to help us create a stakeholder communication plan. In this example, we're going to be rolling out a major org change, and we need to communicate to 8 different stakeholder groups. We need different messages, different timing, and different channels. We need the messaging to go to affected employees, customers, people managers, and unaffected team members. Pause the screen so you can copy the prompt. And then here's the output we get. In the prompt, we ask the AI to provide a stakeholder priority matrix. So that's what we have here. So not all stakeholders need the same level of attention. Map groups by interest and influence to prioritize communication efforts. The org change is that we're talking about is a VP role is being eliminated. And to that person, there's very high priority of us to get to him or her to tell them about the org change that absolutely affects them. Then we're going to tailor the messaging by stakeholder group and how. So the VP that's being eliminated, we're going to have an in-person meeting with the CEO. It has the messaging, it anticipates the pushback from the affected employee and what the response is. Then we're going to have a meeting with the board via a board memo and a call. And then the affected employees, so in the department with the VP, there's going to be an all hands meeting. And then we asked AI to provide a communication calendar. And so everything flows from the initial high priority meeting with the affected VP. Then the output also provides messaging templates for the CEO's company-wide email, department all hands talking points, customer email, a manager briefing deck, a board memo, and an FAQ document with 15 common questions. This would have taken 12 to 15 hours manually to build this plan. It's taken 2 hours with AI, 30 minutes for a draft and 90 minutes to refine. Total hours saved, 10 to 13 hours. Your CEO now approves the plan and you execute it, and the change lands smoothly because everyone got the right message at the right time. Now, where do we run these prompts? If you're using ChatGPT, then you would copy the prompt, paste it into the chat, add your context, and submit it. It works on the free plan. The paid plan will give better output quality for executive documents, but it'll work on the free plan. You might just have to edit and review and refine a little bit more. If you're using Microsoft Office at work, then you'll likely be using Microsoft Copilot. In Microsoft Copilot, you would copy the prompt, open Copilot in the browser or in the Microsoft 365 apps. So you have Copilot embedded in PowerPoint if you're going to use a deck, or Copilot embedded into Word for the briefing documents. You would paste the prompt, add your details, and then submit. If your company uses Google Workspace, then you probably are going to be using Google Gemini. And in that case, you're going to copy the prompt, open Gemini in the browser or Google Workspace. And then if this is a briefing document, you would use Gemini embedded in your docs, or Gemini embedded in slides if you're going to be sharing this via a presentation outline. You'll paste the prompt, add your context, and submit it. Always refine your output before presenting to executives. You need to check that the numbers are accurate, the recommendations align with company strategy, the tone matches the executive expectations, there's no jargon or buzzwords, and there's a clear ask on page 1. Here's what we learned today. We learned board presentation prep. We lead with the ask and executive summary. We limit to 10 slides. We anticipate 5 board questions, includes risk mitigation, and we do it all in 2 hours. executive briefing documents. We limit to 2 pages. We lead with a 3-sentence summary. We're using bullets for scannability. We're including clear next steps with owners, and that should take about an hour with AI. Strategic messaging frameworks. We are coming up with the core positioning that's 1 sentence, 3 key messages with proof points, audience specific variations, do's and don'ts to prevent jargon. And with AI, that will take us 1 hour. And lastly, stakeholder communication plans. We're going to map all stakeholder groups, tailor each message to each group, sequence timing carefully, and provide message templates. And that should take about 2 hours using AI. Coming up in lesson 11, we're going to learn about automation versus agents. I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about everything that's happening in the AI world that's bleeding over into every other aspect of your life. And the 2 big buzzwords now are automation and agents. So we're going to cover manual muscle versus mental muscle, when to automate versus delegate to AI. We're going to look at a cost benefit reality check, and we're going to go through some corporate approval paths. So you can stop confusing automation with agents and start understanding which problems need which solution and how each can accelerate your work and improve your productivity. Don't forget, join the Flow AI community. You can share your board deck or executive brief in our free school community and get feedback before you present to executives. Follow Flow AI on LinkedIn for more executive communication tips. And remember, you're shipping executive quality communication in hours, not weeks. Keep going, and I'll see you in lesson 11.